Call to order the Town of Manchester Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for June 17th, June 24th, 2014. First item on the agenda is approval of the May 20th, 2014 minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as submitted.
Second?
Okay, have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Reports. Michelle, zoning appeals, anything?
No, I have nothing to report on that.
Very good. Anything for the town?
Yeah, I was just gonna, is council separate? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I
Because
have
we can
nothing
make
for
it
the
all
town.
one item.
You can make okay, just real quick, just so you all know that the, first off, good news is the carnival is June 30th through July 5th. Might come out to that, and then, if I understand, the demo on Victory Street property has begun, just so you all are aware of that. And then the, water and sewer rates did pass, at the proposed rate of a quarter increase on those, so we're good to go.
Very good. Good evening, Ms. Moser. Word to you very quickly, and then, ready to go. What do you have for us from
I
that?
have nothing this evening.
Nothing.
And good evening to everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
No, I have nothing that I need to present or any action that I need from the planning commission, so I'm good.
She just came to enjoy her company.
I was going to say, thank you for giving us your company. We appreciate that. Okay, tonight's item of business is the Gary Business Center review and approval. Gentlemen, good evening. Welcome. I'd like to step up and,
Mr. Chairman, before Gary's get up and present, I'm just going to have to recuse myself from any vote on this project. I have a professional relationship with Pete Podolak, who was their civil engineer on this project, so I think it would be inappropriate for me to cast a vote, given that I have a working relationship with Mr. Podolak.
so noted, and we'll continue. We do have a quorum, so we will continue with tonight's meeting.
I have a couple things I want to start with before, and then you can continue on, but because this has been such a long journey, we originally got the Board of Zoning Appeals approval to have such a storage facility in 2012, maybe? Something like that.
Yeah.
And at that time, you knew you were going to do a second section, but there was it was approved with a combination of no more than 36 units or something like that. And, the size of the building. We have previously discussed at another meeting, prior to him going and doing his site plan, that at that time, there were no issues with where the dumpster was going to be located. I guess there's no change to that, something you might want to look at. There was, the facility was to be fenced in an all vinyl fence, all the same kind of vinyl fence, paved, and the access was limited, which was the same as the first facility. Let's see, and the lighting would be minimal and located on the building. So these are things that you already discussed that were already in the minutes and already part of his approval. So you can take it from there.
Okay. Basically, everything Michelle just said is going to be true. The dumpsters are not even at all for mini storage tenants. They're instructed on their lease to leave no trash outside of the building, and nothing is to go in those dumpsters. Those dumpsters are for the Gary Business Center tenants. Their location is not going to change, because that's a good location where the trash removal truck can get in, get them emptied, no matter what time of day it is and what kind of cars are in the lot. We're going to do fencing around the building. Currently, there is a,
That's all been approved.
Right.
You don't have to go through that.
Okay.
It's all approved.
okay.
Well, actually, where he was just reviewing that because it's been so long, but that, for us to make the next approval, we don't want to make it all contingent on the same things that we've already done.
Right.
Okay.
That's all. That's why I was kind of refreshing up.
Okay. So we've gone through all the different agencies at the county and gotten everybody's approval and sign off, and we're looking for the town's approval tonight.
Let me join in here. We are still waiting for grading permit. Everything else, as far as we know, has been cleared. at the county. Grading permit is just being held up because they need the planning and zoning approval, and I think Michelle's signature,
Right.
and I think we have to talk to somebody in soil conservation.
But what'll happen with, after this approval tonight, and like we've done on other plans, they'll actually come in with a plan, the finished plan that they want your signature on, Alex, and also they have a
We
plan
have
from
that
you.
plan.
Right, and then once we have that signed, then Tim here can go ahead and work on the grading permit part of it.
And then that should be the last hurdle. Everything else has been cleared.
So your fencing and landscaping will be all complete?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Graham made mention that he had concerns about, about fencing. So with the June 17th minutes that you provided, I think fencing's taken care of. But I did want to make a comment for him, and I don't have specifics, but he talked about add a little additional landscape screening along the sides and rear. So without Mr. Graham here as for comment, I think he's probably looking for a little bit more of a barrier, but I don't want to speak for him, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention. So if
Okay.
you're questioned in the future.
Okay.
Did you go through any landscaping? You didn't, right?
No, to the rear of the property, there's
Nothing.
an additional 2 acres that's part of this property. And to the rear of that is woods that then lead into the nature center. So there are no tenants, anybody that can see that to the rear.
Gotcha.
To the Sheets side, there's, I believe, a tree farm, I'm gonna call it. It's a lot of tall trees that have been planted, grass is growing up between them. And I think that's one of these tree farms where people pay to have trees put. And
Forest
so that
conservation.
that blocks a lot of it.
Okay.
And then it's the field from the school. And over on the other side, we have the fencing all along, and then there is a split rail fence on the property. You know, we can see about putting some additional planting there if that's gonna make Mr. Graham.
Okay.
The only people that really see that, quite honestly, is really nobody. Our next door, our immediate neighbor, Jim Long, who owns that property, his property comes back. He has a grassy area there, he cuts that. The next property over, there's another house there, I don't think it comes back as far. And then Vince DePalmer's house is there, but there's a pretty good tree line in between there that
Gotcha.
they can see. And Michelle brought up, the lighting that we intend to do on the outside of the building would be just like it's on the building there. It is minimal lighting. It's on a timer to come on just before dark and go off at 10 o'clock. And it's all aimed down. It's really minimal lighting.
Okay, thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah, it looks like, on the forest conservation plan, it shows more, it's the last page. The hedgerow, I'm assuming, Guy, is existing hedgerow, says there's a 38 inch silver maple back in the corner. Is that's existing? Yeah, the Palmers. So that looks like it's well blockaded on that side. And then the alley, the mysterious alley between the two properties, is that where the vinyl fencing goes up that side?
Vinyl fencing is there now, existing.
Right.
5 feet in on our property.
Okay.
It's 5 feet set in from the property line, so that would just extend
Just
down
extend out.
and then
If
go
I'm not-
across the back.
That's a 6.5, what is that, six?
I believe it's 6 foot.
6 foot. The dry well, was that addition to the original plans? Or has this dry well been,
There's
I mean,
a
it's been
dry well,
approved and moved and all?
no, there's a
whatever?
dry well that exists now for building 1.
Okay,
The dry well you see on that drawing is where a second dry well will go in for the second building.
correct, for the roof runoff?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. And that's in the rear on the large parcel, basically a little bit, a few feet on the large parcel.
Right.
So that must be underground, that goes under the blacktop, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the
pipe-
pipes go down from the, right by
Sure,
the building,
there it
go
is.
underneath, and then feed into that.
Very good. Then the blacktop width and sizes and everything was, that's all been approved, and how much, based on these plans? Wide enough for vehicles and turnaround and everything. So where'd you end up, unit count? The number, the,
I can't remember, I think it was 36.
Right.
Michelle had, it, yeah, from the,
Maximum of 36, yes.
Because there's smaller, there's some small ones on the side.
yeah, the only thing popping in my head was the original, wasn't there some open discussion that we were about the size of the two larger units?
the units are 10 foot by 20.
All of them?
All of them except for on the end, it would be a smaller, broken down into like 5 by 10s.
Right.
Because you get, what we found out with the first building, ironically enough, is people want smaller spaces, which really surprised me, because I thought, you know, a 10 by 20 is average size, usually people have a lot of stuff. But I have had quite a bit of requests for some smaller size units. In a typical, in a larger full-blown facility, they have all different size units to accommodate all the different requests.
Okay.
So when we do this one, we decided we'd put 4 in one of the Zen units, so that would, just doors on the end, so that would take away that one unit.
And they
make
don't
4
go all the way
smaller.
through, they're just half,
They just go in
back
10
to
feet.
back,
That's-
back to back, 10 by 20s. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah,
Yeah, back to back.
that's right.
Everything else, I can't think of nothing. The electrical, there was something with electrical and placement of a panel, I think, but I think that was taken care of a while back.
There'll be another panel on this building that will, again, feed, it'll just have a breaker for feeding the lights.
Right.
The power will come from the existing building, come off of that and go over to the new building.
I think everything's been addressed.
Yep.
I can remember.
Okay,
Yeah, up and down, it looks pretty good.
good. Okay,
I'd like to make a motion to approve the submission as laid out.
okay,
I second that.
okay. We have a motion for approval as submitted. We have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Okay, with no other business before the commission,
I make a motion that this meeting be adjourned.
I seconded.
good night.
Good night.
15
Thank you.
minutes.
Okay.